Elephant. Some of them are still young, but the tusks are very broad. A little bit long. You can see that they're still young, but the tusks are going to develop more and more and more in future. So it's quite a lot of animals that were coming in and out, and bringing up elephant were here in and out, and there's quite a few of them that headed. We have seen them headed across into the south, but there was a lot of action happening around here. We have seen leopards, we've seen elephant, rhino. It's quite a lot of them around here.
It's also been interesting just with seeing the waterholes drying up. Obviously, the physical aspect of seeing a waterhole dry up is always interesting because you get all the wildlife around it. And black mamba. I didn't tell you, we saw black mamba the other day.
Yeah, I only heard from Simon. Yeah. I was talking us. Peter spotted. You have seen black mamba.
Yeah, Charles was there, so it was quite a nice one at the Treehouse Dam, busy catching frogs in between the cracks there.
Yeah.
But before we trail off, Rexon loves black mambas, one of his favorite things to run after. It's not as big as the one we saw, but it was big, 2 meters maybe. Yeah.
Oh.
But sorry, I'm trailing off. But waterholes drying up is an interesting aspect in themselves. Just seeing what happens around that little microenvironment. But with so many waterholes drying up, I mean, on Western Gari, the area we drive now, it's only the pan that gets pumped. That has water. Treehouse Dam, Buffelshoek Dam is open. I don't know how long ago Buffelshoek Dam was dry.
Yeah, it's like years. Long, yeah.
And also up Buffelshoek side and Manileti, everywhere water's drying up more and more. So it's interesting just to see the slight movement or shift in animal behavior. Territories have changed a little bit. There's been a bit over the last month or two. The lions have shifted a little bit. It's all sort of the pieces are being rearranged a little bit. Karula and Safari, I think, is one that I was keen to talk to you about because you've known Safari also for a very long time. She's moved around. She used to live here. And what do you think about all of that?
Hey, it's really amazing, Peter. If I look at one day, I was talking to Simon. My first time we had that Karula, she's now crossing into Nyala Katla and Nyala Dam on those areas. Yeah. It meant for me because if you look at the history, the history of these two leopards, Safari and Karula. Look like Safari female, she moved into the west and give a space for the daughter.
Almost like free up space because she's
free. Yes. So it looked like now also Karula is going to do the same. He is moving up to the north and free the space for one of the youngsters into the area. So if that can happen, I mean, it can settle down to the north, and one of the youngsters, which we don't know whether it could be.
Well, Tingana has been seen a lot. Here, but she's been seen between the Milwaukee and Chirakatla.
Yeah, somewhere there. I mean, plenty time. So it looked like Tingana might stay on that area. And today we were driving up and down there. We were trying to check tracks or locate it itself. So it looked like she's in and around on that area. She might operate Treehouse Dam, Twin Dams, all the way down to the area and back into our neighborhood area. So it looked like that young female, she's more in and out on that area.
But I get what you're saying. It's almost like Safari made up. If you imagine it on a visual space, the Safari had this area and then she moved away a little bit and then created that space that was sort of safe already because it was occupied for Karula. And now here's a lion again.
It's amazing.
Look in there tomorrow. Go for a little peek around.
Yeah, that will be good.
But it's always so hard to talk when there's lions roaring. You have to listen. Difficult for you guys to hear, but lions roaring that side is beautiful. It's a very interesting part of a lion's roar. They've got different tonal parts in the whole roar if you break the whole thing down in a study. So trailing off again. But that last part, that is typically, depending if they're trying to communicate it further away, they tend to make that a little bit longer and louder. It's a very low frequency, so it travels better through different terrain. And it's not as much of the center part of the roar is actually the real tonal part where there's a lot of specific sounds in it you can recognize individuals from. But that last part is that part that they try and make the sound carry further out. So you've got different parts of the roar even. But just to try and explain what Rex was saying is that Safari moved out to create a space for Karula. Karula's sort of doing the same thing now by moving up north a little bit and creating. But Saseka hasn't been. I haven't heard much of her on the radio. Or where is she? What have you heard?
Well, last time to hear about Saseka, she was down at three house pen into Little Gary. I've been had since from then. And once before, myself and Simon, we were called in somewhere, Gary, Main, the same area of eastern side of Leadwood Road. She was moving in and out on that area. She ended disappeared because it's very thick on that area. I believe they're still moving together in the same block, but they might be starting to getting separated. And each and every individual trying to go in the favorite spot of the area that been created by the mother. So you might find that the other one might operate other side of the road, and the other one will come more towards our area where we are, which is really amazing for this leopard, how actually they do things into the area. It's really, if you look at Safari, she used to, now she's no longer coming down towards 3 hours there. She's just turning the triple Impala plains, Zoe's Road, and back up to Safari, which is really amazing. She used to come all the way down, remember, here to quarantine once before, but she's no longer coming all the way down to here. She's tried to move around in that area there, right at the corner of our property.
But I must admit, that's one of the leopards I'm personally also very excited about. Safari is always been very special. I just watch my sound, I hope it's alright. She's always been a very special leopard to me. She used to live, the first time I ever saw her was on Envoy Tiller Access up in the Brula tree. That's the first time I ever saw Safari. I'll never forget that.
Yeah, she's a
special cat.
Yeah.
We had it the other day, certainly rubrics, but the other day we saw, who was with me on camera, Simon or Roman? When we saw all three of them, 3 generations. We had Safari first, Tingana first, then Safari, then we left Safari and we drove back, and where Tingana was earlier, we just looked and spotted another leopard, and it was Karula crossing. And we saw Safari again later, but it's just nice to see
all the 3 generations.
Like that,
It's really amazing. I mean, it's beautiful for all these leopard. Mainly, we now, looking forward, expectation of pregnancy of that leopard. It looked like, if she have cubs, she would be more in and around Yana Dam, Befesuk Dam. She tend to be on that area most. But we had today, or late this afternoon, that yesterday she just crossed back to south, which is headed towards Little Gary. But she's still moving in the area, but most of the time she tends to be more into the north. So it can be happen right at the other side. And we had another we had on the radio another leopard with having cubs. It could be bitch and female. She was moving towards south, but on top there by Sasal Dam, moving towards Befesuk area. So we're hoping maybe somewhere Cheetah Catland, eastern side of Befesuk Dam.
Yeah, she might also be frequent Befesuk Dam.
Somewhere there. So it will be something that we will be looking forward while we drive, getting on those areas. Maybe we might be lucky to get to see this youngster.
It'll be nice if Befesuk Dam also get a bit more leopard activity around. I mean, years, not that many years, but early 2000s when I was guiding here, remember Shivati used to go past all the time. Oh, not all the time, but often you'd go past and you'd be lying on that termite mound like a statue.
Yeah,
there's a lot more leopard activity around that. It's like maybe with the Kahumas before they left here, maybe they made the leopard activity around that side a bit less.
That it is. I mean, once the leopard and the lion operate in the same area, it will be a little bit shifting of one species, of course, which is leopard.
Just because of
he has to move in other areas. So, but we believe this year we might have lots of leopard around in the area. Imagine if Gurula have a youngster and one of the youngster from Gurula next year or before next
youngster as well.
You have a youngster as well. They will be moving up and down in the area. I've seen once before leopard. Sometimes we really know that leopards are more territory and they don't accommodate one another. But if they really know one another,